Okay, I've cut all the CV boot off. You can. That's your. If you come over and have a look at this, this is the mutilated CV boot. I've just cut that off in pieces. Now, in the gator here, which is this little sort of barrel-looking thing, in here, there's the actual CV. Now, this bearing assembly, which is the CV, is held in by a little circlip. It's a little metal clip. You can probably, oh, you probably can't see it. It's a little clip there. So what you got to do is, even with your fingers or like a little tiny flathead screwdriver, you got to pry that clip out, and then this bearing will pop out. Otherwise, it won't come out, and you'll be wondering why. When I did this before, I didn't see this little circlip because of all the grease, and I was wondering why the thing wouldn't come out. So, just got to pry that out, and then you'll be able to get it out. So just get behind it, pop one side out. Once one side's out, you can just pull it out like so. So that is the little circlip that holds the bearing assembly in. So now that's out, we can take the whole CV out. So we just got to support this, and everything's disconnected now, so this whole thing will just come out, and we can give it a clean up and replace it all. So yeah. Okay. Everything is unbolted. To an extent. These bolts are still in there. So I need to pop those out somehow. That's one. Two to go. A little easier said than done, isn't it? Alright, what you gotta do is push down on here and pull this top part out. So just push down and pull, and then that'll give you clearance to get these bolts out. Bolts out. So you gotta pull this up and push them through. Might need a hand with this one, so. Alright, that's one. One more to go. Okay. Yep, just let go of that, Dad. I got it. Yep, that's... Alrighty, now this whole assembly's off. We just got to stick on some rags so we don't damage it. Now what we're going to do is clean all this up and clean up that little part in there, which is called a gator. So what we got to do is just clean it up real nice with some rags, get all that old grease out, because once you put the new grease in there, old greases and new greases don't really like to go together. It's not really good, and also because this has been open, there might be some sand hidden in that grease, and when we put the new boot on, we don't want to lock all that in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to clean that out really well. We're going to take this bearing off, and we're going to clean this one in the parts washer, because this bearing is essentially the inner workings of the CV, so we really need to get that nice and clean. So how to get this bearing off, it's got some circlip pliers. If you just have a look here, just clean this up a little bit. really dirty. Okay, we've got some circlip pliers. And you can see this little circlip here. So just going to whack that on there. Spread him apart. There's your little circlip. Put him away. And this bearing will just slide off like that. Too easy. Now we'll just whack that one in the parts washer, clean up really well, clean up this shaft here, clean up the gator there, whack the new boot on, and put it all back together again. It's as easy as that. So, yeah. Just clean this bearing really well. If you don't have a parts washer, you can just use degreaser. But, I mean, I've got a parts washer, so why would I use degreaser? You really want to clean this as best as you can. You want to get every little bit of grease out, because we are going to re-grease this, so don't worry about that. We just want to get all that sand out really, or anything that could have contaminated this, because once we put that new CV boot on, anything that's in here is just going to get trapped in here. It's not going to be able to get out, so we don't want any nasties in there. Otherwise you could be up for a new CV. That's not good. Now when you're doing this as well, just be careful that those balls don't come out, because they can pop out. So if you're not careful, they will. I really should be wearing gloves when doing this, but I'm not too worried. Okay, I've just put the boot back on, cleaned everything up, so it's time to reassemble. Just push the boot on. It's a bit tight, but you'll get there. Put the little clamp on first, otherwise you're going to have to take it off and put it back on again. Then, once this clamp's on, just pull it tight with your pliers until it's as tight as you can get it. And then you just got to push these clips in. Probably best to do that with the hammer. So we'll just get a little hammer and knock those in. And then get the last little bit just with your just with a flathead screwdriver or something. Okay, we'll just put the big clip on there, because once we've put in there we can't put that clip on obviously, so whack that on there. Put the bearing on there, put the circlip back on. Open up the grease packet, put half the packet of grease inside the boot here and half inside the gator. Then what we're going to do is put that little circlip, which is here, clean him up and put him in there. Whack the whole assembly on, put the circlip on, put this on, put the clamp on, and then tighten everything up. Just putting the boot back on. Bit tricky. Doesn't really like to go on. Alrighty, it's all back on now. Everything's all tightened up. It's just ready to put the brake caliper back on and then put the wheel on. Now it's it's a bit of a hard job. Basically, when you get this in, you really need two people. You won't get it in by yourself. If you do, then well, congratulations. That is a good effort. So you need someone to guide in that shaft and get it into the gator, and you need someone to guide the bottom part in. You'll see it when you're doing it. This bottom ball joint area needs to be it needs to go in, but you need to hit it with a hammer to get it in there. It's real tight fit. So what you need to do, just get some light for you. This little pin here is your guide pin, so you need to put that in first, and you need to hammer it in. So you need to put this like bracket in on a little bit of an angle to get it in there, otherwise it won't go in. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but when you're doing it, it all makes sense. And then once that's in, whack your bolts in and do a couple of them up just lightly. Then the top one, you have to push this down. What we did was just pried it down with a flathead screwdriver and pushed in, and then once that's in, you can line up the bolts and torque all those up. Tighten up all the bottom ones, then put the steering joint back in, put a block of wood under it and give it a good smack with a hammer, then tighten this one real tight and put the lock pin in. After that, I'm going to put the brake caliper back on, make sure that's all good, put the wheel on, and yeah, we're done. Oh, we also had to put this ABS thing back on, plug that back in and put all of them in the liners, in the little guides. Yeah, that's about it, guys, so see you later.